Yo, what's going on, guys? It's your boy Inheritor back again with another replay analysis. Real quickly before we get started, if you are interested in some 100% free coaching, make sure to drop down to the description and join the Discord server because it is 100% free, no cost, no catch. It's just something I do to help out the community. So if you want some free coaching, please feel free to join the Discord server. And another thing before we get started, I do stream on Twitch almost daily. I typically will start somewhere between 8 and 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Unless I'm doing something with family or coaching related. So I'm usually pretty good about starting on time. Without further ado, let's get into the coaching. So this is Waze Edits. He is at least as of the time of posting this clip, or this video request, he is a high gold 3. This is 2v2s, and he does not specify any sort of specifics that he wants me to look at, so I'm going to do my best here. Let's get right on into it. Okay, first thing I notice. One, not a bad idea, turning off ball cam for your kickoff. A lot of people do it. It's a good thing. It helps you get a more precise kickoff once you gain some more control over your car. So, now, you should have already at least turned on ball cam one time just to see what was happening with the play. Because this could you knowing what's going on with the play here in the future in a GC game, knowing what's happening with the play before you go for that boost could mean the difference between getting scored on for a kickoff goal and not getting scored on if you have a fast enough recovery. So just keep that in mind. Try to off your kickoffs, make sure you're checking what's going on with the play as you're going for boost. And, if you're in a pretty bad situation and your teammate happens to miss the ball, then you can, even though you have 0 boost, you can pick up pads on the way back and at least have 40-something boost before you even hit your net. So just keep that in mind. So luckily, the opponent's missed here. Your teammate hit it straight against the wall and really hard, which just centered it back towards your net. So realistically, this is one of those situations that you probably should have just gone towards your net rather than this big boost, which leads me back to the factor of making sure you're checking the play right off the kickoff. But luckily, your opponents missed the ball here, and they double committed. Overall, good control. Recommendation, instead of flipping into the ball here, take that little bit of extra time, because they both flew to your back corner. You have all the time in the world right now. I mean, not literally, but you have a lot of time. You could have taken the extra second to drive this way and turn into the ball to gain control and just drive it straight towards the net rather than having to flip into the ball. Because I mean, if you had gotten a touch different than that, this would have been a much more difficult open net to score. So just another thing to keep in mind. Maybe try instead of rushing when you know your opponents are out of the play, try to take a little more time to do what you need to do the most efficient way. Kind of like the old phrase people say, work smarter, not harder. And that's not to say you're doing things wrong. It's just a suggestion. So what you did right here when you were turning on and off ball cam, that's what you should have been doing at the start of the game. That's what I was talking about. Decent early challenge. Oh, God, I hate that it glitches like that. So, if you had just front flipped, this 50 would have gone a little bit better. You did a diagonal flip here. Or a side flip, actually. And, you know, you didn't get as good of a hit as you could have. Now, this right here, what you're doing here is what I was talking about with your first goal, your first own goal. You went a little bit past the ball, so, you know, instead of just being able to hit it right on into the net, you had to flip into the ball to actually slow it down. It happens. It's not a big deal. But my point of me pointing this out is this is what I was talking about earlier with your first open net shot. You hit this the first time, you don't flip into the ball. You now have pretty much full control. And the fact that you swing wide to get a better angle on the goal is really good. This is exactly what I was talking about with your first goal. A little wonky turn off ball cam on the wall, but I don't blame you. I know there are several people that do that. So I personally don't do that, but if it works for you, it works for you, man. Unfortunate you got demoed here. Not much you could have done. Other than, you can hear him coming. Just barely. But you can, well, just barely for me, because one, I have volume turned down on YouTube, and two, I have music playing. But, aside from being able to hear him, you want to make sure you're checking around the field with your analog sticks, or your analog stick, to see where people are. Whether it's using your rear view camera or you're using your analog stick to actually look around, like, you know, in a panning motion. That's the word I'm looking for. So, you know, potentially could have avoided the demo. Not a big deal. Just a thought. So, the only iffy thing about this is that you turned back to go back to the boost that you missed. It's pretty a risky thing to do. Luckily, the opponent didn't challenge you, but that's where I'm leading to next. So, your teammate wasn't challenging. You could have tried to control this rather than just hitting it. And, you know, I know you were trying to get a hard hit probably to their corner, but it just wasn't going to happen with your situation, how far back you were, and how slow the ball's moving. So you just ended up hitting it right to him. So if you had tried to dribble it, you could have potentially kept better control of the play instead of giving away the ball there on that hit. As soon as you saw this flick to the other side, as soon as you saw him flick it, oh god, I meant to pause. As soon as you saw him flick right here, you should have just turned back and let your teammate go for it, rather than chasing, because what good is it doing you to get a soft touch to this corner? Yeah, in theory, you regained control, but your teammate's probably now out of position, and that's another thing. You have no idea where your teammate is right now. Luckily, he was actually in a decent spot. I am not 100% sure why you had jumped for this. I'm not sure if you were going for a demo here, but if your teammate had had a shot on the net and not gone past the ball somehow, you would have ended up saving the ball, saving the shot, because you are doing either a demo attempt or you're going for the ball and missing it. Either which way, you probably should have just rotated back rather than doing that. You could have probably actually scored this. You just didn't double jump or fast aerial. Fast aerial would have been the best way to score this. And if you don't know how to double jump aerial or fast aerial, please put a coaching request into the coaching request room using the appropriate template for a video on how to do a fast aerial or a fast aerial and double jump aerial. Now, I know you're going for an air dribble attempt here. I just don't think you should be. As a gold 3, and this is not to put you down or gold 3s in general, this is just something that I personally think, and that is you should focus on getting more consistent with your basic mechanics, your dribbles, your flicks, your ground play in general. And then after you get comfortable, well, it's not even about comfortable. You can be comfortable in any situation, really. Once you get consistency with your ground play and your car control, then you need to work on your aerial control. Once you get your aerial control down, then you add in the ball itself, and next thing you know, you're doing air dribbles, you're doing flip resets, blah, blah, blah. But it takes a lot of time to get consistent with these things. So instead of trying to go for these air dribbles, double touches, all that, focus on the more simplistic plays. Get better at them. Getting better at them means you get faster at them. And getting faster at them means you're beating your opponents to everything. So just something to think about there. I'm glad you didn't take that boost. I was going to actually comment on that if you had. Shouldn't have really turned on this. It worked out in your favor, but you can hear your teammate going for it, and this takes me right back to you don't know where your teammate is. So you're turning on a ball when your teammate probably, well, I'm not going to say he was going to score it at the angle he was coming at, but realistically speaking, in a GC game, if I went for this, we would get scored on. So, again, right off the kickoff, you turned off ball cam and stayed that way rather than checking to see what was going on with the play. So just keep that in your mind. Anytime you're in a situation like this, you turn, your teammate goes for it and he misses, you should be turning back immediately to go to your net. Because there's no doubt about it that they will either drive it past you or they are going to hit it harder than you can recover and potentially get scored on off of it. So, you know, again, I'll say it one more time. Your teammate goes for the ball, you probably shouldn't have turned there in particular. It's not that turning around was a bad thing. It's just you are really, really close to the play that was already going to be taking place. Your teammate went for it and he missed, and now you're stuck really close to the ball. And realistically, if he was a grand champ, one hit would have ended up a goal. Well, 2 hits off of that wall would have ended up a goal if the person in this situation couldn't recover fast enough. So just be a little more mindful of what's going on, where people are, and think think about how to position yourself accordingly. And if you need help with positioning, I'm more than willing to help you with that as well. I don't know why your teammate decided to go for bumps there right in front of your net. It's not the person he should have been focused on. But good recovery on your part. This right here is not very good. Your teammate is backing up, I think. I can't tell. The resolution is not great. But I think he's backing up towards the ball. Yeah, he is backing up. So now he's doing this. You're stuck in a situation really close to the play again. Not to mention, all four of you are in the same quadrant on the field, which you should never be. And, yeah, this is pretty poor positioning. You probably should have stayed. Let me see if you get to it, actually. No. So you should have placed yourself right about in this area, but in the net, like this way, rather than pushing for the ball. That way you're playing safe while your teammate is stalling. We'll call it stalling. Even though in this aspect they're more than likely trying to actually go for the ball. Which obviously anyone who's doing that is trying to go for the ball. I don't know. It's not really what I'm trying to point out. Main thing is just think about the trying to predict your play, or predict the plays going on. So this takes me back to focusing on your basics, because first you started off trying to do an air dribble, then you turned it into trying to go for a flip reset, and those should not be your focuses, especially considering where you were positioned. You wouldn't have really been able to do much with it that would actually be beneficial to you or your teammate for that play. It's a good touch. And, pretty good control. I'm not sure that you actually meant to pop that off the top of your car. That's pretty difficult to do intentionally. But otherwise, good shot. This is never a good idea. Unless you are going to pinch it straight up, don't try to pinch the ball. So what I mean by that is you should have let it roll up the wall where it was going, and you double jump into the wall on the bottom of the ball so it pinches up and probably either bounces or rolls away from your side of the field. Doing this way is putting it in front of your net, which is just giving them an opportunity to score. Shouldn't be going for a bump right here. Instead of going for a bump on someone who wasn't even a threat to the play, you probably wasn't a threat to the play at the time. Probably should have just been rotating back towards your net. So this is, I understand you're going to play, like if you're going to play on the wall without ball cam, but you still need to be checking around to see where people are. If you had ball cam on, you would have been able to see your opponents there. However, since you play without ball cam on, that would require you the extra looking around to check to see where your opponents are, because you were just kind of waiting for the ball to drop, and the odds of someone just leaving the ball there for you to grab is not very likely to happen. Overall, you did pretty well. I pointed out a lot more suggestions than I did things that you should or shouldn't have done, which is good. Just really do consider all those things I mentioned. And yeah, I hope this video helps you, dude. That being said, that is going to be it for today's video. If you haven't already, make sure to join the Discord server if you want some free coaching. Again, I do stream on Twitch near daily. 8 to 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time is when I will start, not when I finish. Somewhere in that time frame of 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. I will be starting my stream, on most cases. And yeah, if you liked this video, please make sure to drop a like. Don't forget to subscribe. And yeah, as always, guys, I will catch you all in the next video. Peace out.